Hi, welcome Wings, Wheels, and Wires, your channel for tech and travel. As an EV owner, anytime I'm talking to somebody who doesn't own an EV, they have more or less the same concerns over and over again. They have, EVs don't have enough range to meet my needs, or I don't want to have to spend all day charging the EV when the battery goes down. And of course, as an i3 owner, I hear a whole lot, oh my God, 115 miles EV range just would never work for me. To all these naysayers, I say challenge accepted. We're going to talk about my recent EV battery range challenge that I took in my drive from Chula Vista, San Diego, out to Palm Desert, right after this. Before I get into the main body of my video, I want to say a sincere thank you to my viewers. As a brand new YouTube channel, I've only got a few videos out and some of them get double-digit views. Some have even gotten single-digit views. I've had a couple of videos that took more hours to do the creation of it than I got views on YouTube. So that can be kind of frustrating. So it was really exciting when I did my one video recently that broke 100 views. I was super excited, and it broke 2 and 3 and 4, and now it's well over 7, making its way towards 800. So 1,000 views on this video is actually within reach, and I thank y'all for that. For those of y'all who watched the video, thank you very much. For those of you who gave a thumbs up and made comments, definitely thank you. And for those of you who subscribed, y'all are my heroes. What I'm going to actually start doing is shouting out my subscribers at the end of the video to kind of give y'all props and say thank you. If you do subscribe to my channel, either make sure that you're visible, your name is visible when you subscribe, or throw down in the comments section below your name so that I can give you a shout out. And for those of you who didn't watch the video, I'm kidding. If you want to watch it, it's right up here or here. There's a link for it if you want to go ahead and give it a watch. It's why I bought an i3. Without any further ado, on to the rest of the video. Since buying my i3, most of the miles I've put on it have been commuting back and forth to work. It's 25 miles each way for a round trip of 50 miles. Sometimes I've had to run some errands afterward. One time I even had made 2 trips to work in one day, and the car has managed it just fine. So for day-to-day commuting, absolutely no problem. So if you're looking for a car as a commuter car, 100 miles, 115, 150 for the BEV only version is definitely going to serve most people. But what about driving longer distances? So far I've had 2 occasions that I've challenged my car at all. One was going up to Julian to go see the snow. It's about 30 miles, 35 miles each way. And it's going through some really cold weather, which really challenged the battery. Had 4 people in the car, and you're going up the mountain. So I ended up having to use my Rex for part of that trip because the battery itself just took too much of a beating with the cold. The other time was we went up to LA, downtown LA, and we drove from here to there and back, and I used a little bit of the Rex and I charged briefly. So even on these longer trips, even though the EV range alone wasn't enough, the Rex has saved me and it hasn't been any problem. But can I do a trip, battery electric vehicle only, with an i3? That's the challenge we took. We went from Chula Vista in San Diego over to Palm Desert. During this trip, we went through cold weather, we needed to run the heater, hot weather, we needed to run the air conditioning, coastal, desert, and mountain. So this was definitely a challenge for the vehicle, and we'll see how it did. So we are here in Temecula on the first stop of our trip. I planned on rolling into here with about 30 to 35% charge, planned on kind of topping off a little bit, but since we got up about 30 minutes late, we're running behind, I pushed the car really hard to try to make up some time, and so I rolled in here at about 10%. So I'm gonna put a little bit more in, spend a little more time here than I planned. My next waypoint is actually about another 40 miles, 50 miles along our trip. It's a really cheap charger, supposedly, at a casino. I'll let you know when we get there. And because we were running behind, I had to push the car extra hard. I won't say exactly how fast we were going because I don't want to incriminate myself, but let's just say it really ate up my battery pretty quick. So we rolled in here at about 10%. So what I'm going to do is actually probably charge her up to about 60%. My next waypoint is at a casino. I don't remember the name. I'll let you know when we get there. But they're supposed to have really cheap charging, so I'm going to kind of use that as an opportunity to charge for a lot less. But I also read the posts on PlugShare, and those chargers are not super reliable, so rather than take a chance and have to use my Rex from there, I'm going to make sure I have enough charge in order to be able to get all the way to our destination, and that can just be a little extra on top. See you there. Okay, so our next stop is here at the Kowia Hotel and Casino. It's really actually a pretty nice setup they have here. They have multiple chargers, and there's a gas station and everything here. So it's a lot of really great services without even the casino itself. We're at over 3,000 feet. Elevation is still in the morning, so it's really chilly out here. So I even had to put on my jacket and sweatshirt. But I've got this DC fast charging by ChargePoint, and it's like supposedly 30 cents an hour, so I've already put like 10 miles on my car for like 1 cent. So it's really awesome. I'm going to be topping off here because the next stop that I'm going to be charging is at the BMW Performance Center. There's also, by the way, some Tesla destination chargers here as well, so they have all kinds of charging. I'll take some photos of the area and snap them in right here. All right, so I'm about to wrap up my charging session here. I rolled in here with about 18%. The process of coming up the hill up to 3,000 feet from Temecula, and also the drop in temperature shortened my range, so I ended up with a lower percentage than I planned on coming in here. But that's okay because I'm now up to 74% and counting, and it has cost me a whopping 11 cents. I really want to thank Kowia Casino and Resort for this service. It is awesome, and it's been really helpful to me. I know we will definitely be stopping by here on the way back. Maybe we'll check out some of the other facilities when we do that. Right now, as much as I would love to charge all the way up to 100%, we are still way behind schedule, so I'll be hitting the road now. Catch you on the next section. Since the chargers at the BMW Performance Center were blocked by displays, we ended up charging at the Palm Desert Civic Center, a beautiful and relaxing location where we were able to fully charge the car for free. Highly recommended. I am back at Kowia Casino, almost finished charging. We just finished probably the most challenging part of this drive. It was a 36-mile piece between Palm Desert and here, which doesn't sound like much at all, except it's a really significant uphill travel. I know even on the way down the hill, I was doing just under 50 miles an hour average during the trip, and I gained 15 miles of range on the way down. So this is a pretty steep hill, so I was really concerned about those 36 miles, most of it being pretty steep uphill, exactly how much battery it would take. As it is, it took almost 50% of my battery. Good news is, top that right back off really quickly, and now we're ready to get back on the road. Okay, so what did we learn from this video? Well, I think the biggest thing we learned is how important route planning is, right? One of the benefits you do have from a gas vehicle is you just hop in, you drive it, when it runs low, you just throw more gas in it. Unless you come across the sign that says, no gas, 200 miles, then you have to make sure to fill up. Otherwise, you don't really worry about it. There's always a gas station somewhere, right? Um, with electric vehicles, part of the lifestyle change that I've mentioned a couple different times is getting used to planning your route out ahead of time. There's all kinds of applications to be able to do that. You have Google Maps does this for you. A Better Route Planner does this for you. The PlugShare app does this for you. So you have a lot of different resources for this, okay? But you do have to plan ahead of time. Planning on the way out, I planned for just a trip, and it does cost a little bit of extra time on an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle if it's greater than your range, okay? This is unavoidable. It cost us basically 40 extra minutes. During the whole route of this trip, we would have had to spend 10 minutes putting gas in the car. So let's say it cost us 30 extra minutes over what we would have taken. So it did cost us that extra 30 minutes. On the way back, we were able to better plan out the route because we weren't fighting against the clock. So that allowed for better route planning. And it didn't cost us any actual extra time. What we did is we actually did activities at places where we're able to charge, and this actually made it to where we weren't waiting to charge. We were doing things to have fun. And the other part of route planning that's really important is you can minimize the cost of the trip. My grand total for this trip was $12, right? Calculated out how much it would have cost to drive my wife's 328 convertible, and it would have been about 52 bucks. So 12 versus 52. So it cost us 40 extra minutes and we saved $40. So that's kind of a decent trade-off. So that's kind of one of the other benefits. All right. So if you watched this far, thank you very much. If you're one of my subscribers, this is the time I'm going to give you that shout out I promised. I want to shout out Marlene Christian, Richie and Raymond Christian, Kim Crawford, Kim Torres, Mutz Butts, hashtag buzzoftoxic.blog. That's a blog about environmental stuff. And Rohan's Forum from Rohan's Playtime. That's another channel. It's Forum's child Rohan. It's kind of videos of him and the family's trips and stuff like that. If you want to check that out, give it a search. And I thank you very much for watching. Have an outstanding day.